This Bank of America ROVAL 400 Underdog Fantasy Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Gametime. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Gametime app and use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorchers, where you can win 100 times. That's right. Turn $5 into 500 in one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. Finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
What say we talk about racing things, shall we? Thank you, everybody, for joining us once again for the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and that is precisely what we are here to do on this special Saturday edition. Now, I know that normally you don't get a chance to listen on Saturdays unless that's when you listen to podcasts, but now you're going to cram another one in, and I think you guys are okay with that. But yes, happy ROVAL weekend. Cody, you know how much I disdain the ROVAL, but hopefully we're in for a good race.
That's right. Hopefully we're in for a good race. Underdog picks. I'm excited. Been having a lot of fun. I've been hitting quite a few underdogs here lately too. It's, oh man, again, you can do NFL, you got F1, you got racing, you got everything you want in there. It is a lot of fun. I've been having a blast, and I'm excited to talk about it again.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, and if you guys are new to Underdog, if this is maybe your first Underdog episode, or if possibly you are new to Underdog in general, first of all, I hope you use that deposit bonus up to $500. That's a hell of a deal.
Man, that is just like, I mean, just any deposit bonus and stuff is always nice, but up to $500, like they're going all out for you, and that's how much they believe in their product. Like they know you're gonna love it once you get in there. So take advantage, go win some money.
It's not hard either. This is the thing about it. Like this is not hard, and they give you. We've found some pretty generous lines on this one as well. So we're jumping on this market now before it runs out. Cause I'm telling you right now, with what we're about to give you, even this weekend, there's some pretty juicy lines out there. And, I'm ready to break them down, but I also want to tell you that, you need to be in this as well. It's as simple as picking a couple of drivers, right? And then their finishing positions, whether they finish higher than or lower than their finishing position. Higher than means they have a better finish, right? So if it's let's say 7.5 place finish, they've got to finish 6th or better. Well, 7th or better, really. Or finish 7th or worse, or 8th or worse, depending on where you pick it. So, and then you build it up. You can either do 2 drivers, you can do up to 5 drivers, or like Cody said, you could pick a couple of drivers, you could pick a couple of higher than or lower thans from the NFL, from MLB, from NHL now. Like you can build all 5 from different sports if you want. It's as easy as that, and it's as fun as that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, not competing against a bunch of people. We talked about DFS yesterday. Some of these GPPs are going against thousands of people. You're just going against yourself in this one. So it's what makes it fun. It's what makes it exciting. yeah, I'm really glad that they've been a partner of, and I've been using Underdog for best ball for a couple of years now. Obviously, they've been doing the draft day thing with SGPN and stuff, and for them to continue to expand their offerings and these pick'em games now, and there's the rivals thing where I don't know if they do racing for rival. We should look into that, but I know like preseason NFL, they had a bunch of the rival stuff up there where you pick one guy to outperform their guy and all of that. So, it is just so much freaking fun.
It is. Speaking of so much freaking fun, maybe the drivers will be having it. Maybe they won't be having it on the ROVAL. It is, of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the hybrid road course and oval, hence ROVAL, where most of it's on a road course, but then you get that nice little stretch that is on the banked surfaces of the Charlotte Motor Speedway proper. 109 laps around this 2.280 mile road course for a total of 248.520 action-packed racing laps. So again, we talked about it in the racing and of course in the betting and the DFS episode. Stage cautions are actually back, so they will be bunching the field back up after the stages. Puts a lot of strategy into play. Playoffs is a cutoff race, so drivers are either going to be going for playoff points and try to get themselves into the next round, or as we predicted with some of the DFS plays that we had last time, maybe they'll just go straight up for the win, which of course goes a long way into finishing positions, because some of these that we think are locks could end up not being, depending on the strategy that's played. I think all of us have, or both of us have, guys that aren't going to be worrying too much about it. In fact, we kind of all have. I mean, a couple will be worrying about it, but not to the extent that we think.
But this is where it is nicer than DFS too, because if you are going to go with a guy like a Reddick or a Larson, they're such risky plays in DFS because they might not lead a ton of laps because they might be flipping stages, but it's just where you think they'll finish. Even if they do flip the stage, you think you can get back to fifth or whatever. I'm not looking at it right now, but whatever their line is, right? So, or do you think because they're flipping stages, they'll finish farther back? You can play it that way too. So again, different type of strategy, a lot of fun. Obviously, I know a lot of people listen to this episode have already played Underdog before, but if you're new to it, don't wait any longer. It really is a good time. And again, legal in a lot of states. It's a skill game, of course, so it's legal in more states than the gambling is. So if you're not able to do the gambling part of things, this is another way to get in and be able to play a fantasy type of game where you can use all the knowledge that we've given you throughout the betting episodes.
Indeed. All right. Well, then I think all that's left to do is to start giving you some of our plays. But first, let's tell you about Gametime. Buying tickets sucks, flat out and full stop. I can't stand it. I get anxiety thinking about it. I get anxiety talking about it. But I will tell you one thing, that if you're trying to attend your favorite sport, your favorite comedy show, your favorite concert, whatever it is, you probably have that same type of feeling when it comes to buying tickets. But Gametime has taken away all of that stress from you. Not only are they giving you the greatest deals that you could possibly imagine, but they're giving you the greatest deals on last-minute tickets. So you don't even have to worry about trying to figure out months in advance whether you're going to get to go watch that favorite sporting event, concert, or whatever it is. You can wait until the very last minute, in some cases the same day, to buy those tickets and still get great deals with Gametime. When you buy your tickets on Gametime, you're going to get that Gametime guarantee that your tickets are going to be on time and authentic. They'll even be delivered straight to your phone, so you don't have to worry about digging through emails or even, heaven forbid, trying to figure out whether or not you can get it in the mail in time. Nope, all that's gone. So same-day purchases make it even better when it comes to Gametime. Plus, listen, if you find a better price on a ticket, it doesn't matter when it is, Gametime's going to give you and make it up 110% of the difference of that. They're even going to send you a picture of the seat that you're going to be sitting in. Well, maybe not the seat, but at least what you're going to see when you're sitting in that seat. So many reasons to get on Gametime right now. So snag the tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code SGPN for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code SGPN for $20 off of your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool. You're going to get hit rates broken down by leg as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players' hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot, which picks have values. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use promo code SGPN to get 50% off of your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Cody, much like our DFS, we are giving you 3 drivers that we like and their higher or lower than finishing positions for this Underdog Fantasy plays. So, Cody, let's begin with you.
Rod, I've talked about him once this week. I've talked about him twice this week. I've talked about him a lot this week, but I am all aboard the Chase Elliott train. They've got him at 5.5 for his better than or worse than. Of course, I am taking him as a better than 5.5 finish. Again, Chase Elliott has been very good here. Should have easily had this finish last year prior to the cardboard incident. Go ahead and have your shots there. But he's been good at road courses. You go back over the season, Watkins Glen, obviously the ran out of gas issue there. That's a whole nother thing. Indianapolis road course, though, second place finish there, had a nice solid day. Chicago finished at 3rd there, if you want to throw that in and count it. Sonoma finished in 5th place. He did miss Coda earlier on in the season, so you don't have that. But he's won 2 of the 5. We've had 5 races here, 4 races here. He's won 2 of them. And he's just he's so due to, I think, win a race at this. Obviously, that's the angle I am taking. But even if he doesn't win, I think he's going to be there at the end for this. Again, talked about it on the betting episode, talked about it on the DFS episode. I don't think he's going to be flipping the stages even for the owner's points. I think they are straight up going for a win. I think they're going to be in the mix. Even if he doesn't get the win, 5.5, Rod, all you have to do is get a top 5 finish on him. I think that's very, very easily achievable, especially when you factor in guys like Reddick, guys like Larson, if they decide to go ahead and race for the points. If a guy like Hamlin decides to go ahead and stay out and get the stage point, of the top 5 odds, right? He's the best, has the best odds, or the whatever. He's the highest in odds, the favorite for the whatever. He's the highest guy. I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's the top guy on the odds list for top 5 finishes. So the books are pretty certain he's going to finish in the top 5. I'm pretty certain he's going to finish in the top 5. So Chase Elliott better than 5.5 over on Underdog.
Chase Elliott in road courses since February of 2020, average finish of 7.7, 18 races, 12 top 5 finishes. I definitely like the odds on that for him to be able to finish inside of the top 5. And like you said, it really is just a matter of this team's just going to go out and try to win races. And that's all they're concerned with doing. I know the Constructors Championship is always a big thing and it costs a lot of money to lose it. But yeah, I think Chase Elliott's going to win or bust. And I think he's going to end up getting somewhere in that top 5. So I like that. All right. Mine tugs at my heartstrings because he was my favorite driver last season. Kind of fell out of grace for me this season, but it's AJ Allmendinger. Look, his finishing position is set at 7.5. I think he's going to finish better than 7.5. And I say that knowing full well that he could finish in 36th and break my heart, or he can finish 38th like he did in 2021 and break my heart. But I will say that in the other 2 races that he's been in on this track as a Cup driver, he finished 7th and 4th. The 4th place finish last season on the Roval came with 24 laps led as well. So he started 7th in that one. So he even started within the realm of this starting position and finished in 4th. Look at where he stacks up, though, as far as overall here on this track. like I said, he has a couple of good finishes, but in road courses overall, all right, 4th place at Watkins Glen earlier this season, 26th at the Indy Road Course. That's where he breaks your heart. But 6th place at Sonoma, and then 34th at Coda. You talk about a pendulum swing where it goes from yay to awe, yay to awe. That's what it was. But in 2022, it was all yay for AJ Allmendinger, right? 4th at the Roval, 2nd at Watkins Glen, 7th at Indy Road Course, 9th at Road America, not inside of the 7.5, but still pretty damn close. 19th at Sonoma. So it was a lot of yay for us as far as AJ Allmendinger is concerned. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's not in the playoffs. Now this 16 team really just wants to lick their wounds. AJ Allmendinger has been a fantastic road course racer in the Xfinity Series. Basically has won every single race on this track as an Xfinity driver. In fact, he has won every single race on this track as an Xfinity driver. He won't be taking place in it this week, this season, but somebody else will finally end up winning that race, and I'm sure the rest of the field is pretty happy about it. So, yeah, give me Dinger better than 7.5, higher than that finishing position for this race.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like really gets me on his side is he's been so freaking good in the Xfinity Series at this track specifically. So I think that's definitely a plus in his column. Still don't know if I trust him, but again, very good road course racer. Been good at this track. Not going to be he's not going to be chasing points. He's going to be doing the stage flipping thing and getting the track position. So only 7.5. I think that's a pretty good number on him if you're looking to go better than.
I agree. All right, Cody, who do we got next for everybody out there?
Yeah, next up for me, I am going to take a worse than finish, and it's Martin Truex Jr., worse than 8th place. Rod, it's been a rough go of things for Martin Truex Jr. We were on him back in July 16th. He won at New Hampshire. He led 254 laps, won the race, won us a ton of money that weekend. Him and John Hunter hit the parlay for us, right? With first place that week. After that, he went on a roll of 6 races in a row, finishing inside the top 7, leading tons of laps, and just having great runs. But since then, since the cutoff race and then the playoffs started, it has not been good for Martin Jr. A tale of two sides. 24th at Daytona, 18th at Darlington, 36th at Kansas, 19th at Bristol, 17th at Texas, 18th at Talladega. Not been good finishes for Truex. Not only that, he's not really looked good in any of those races. They've had issues. They've had problems. He's saying how much he hates his car, so on and so forth. It's just been rough go for Truex. He's been a good road course racer. He ran really well at Sonoma, obviously, cashed a huge ticket for us there, 35-1, right? But I can't trust, what have you done for me lately? It's not been going in Truex's way. As far as points, do they flip stages? There's a potential for it, right? He's only 17 points to the good, so kind of in that Larson. Larson's 15, he's 17, he's in 6th place. So you got guys like Reddick under the cut line. You're hoping don't get up there past you. So I can't trust Truex this week to get things magically fixed. Now, if he does, well, we'll be very quickly jump back on him, right? Because we know what he can do. We've seen how dangerous he's been this season, but right now they're just out of form. They're out of shape. I think this is going to be a race of it's going to be really close whether he makes it to the next round and gets reset back to the top, which will be nice for him again, right? But does he even make it? Who knows? I don't think he finishes better than 8th. Give me Martin Truex Jr. to finish worse than 8th.
It's a very tempting number to take better than or
it
higher.
Is. Well, whoever set this number did a very good job because he should finish better than 8th, right? He's really good at road courses, and he's Martin Truex Jr. Oh, just not lately, Rod. It's not been good.
No, it hasn't. And really, again, that's why it's tough because when you're on the regular season champion, you think for sure. And it's just, I know it's tempting to do it, but don't. Just follow Cody on this one because poor Truex has been hurting as of late. All right, I'm going to take a lower than as well. I don't tend to do that because you know me, I'm the eternal optimist, and I always tend to pick better than. But I'm going to take a lower than in this situation. I feel like Michael McDowell is set at a place where you can't take the higher than, and that's 6.5. I understand it. I know why this number is set where it's at, because Michael McDowell won at Indy, right? He won at the Indy Road Course. So you initially think to yourself, well, then he's got to finish better than 6.5, right? Look, on this track in particular, this has been a nightmare for Michael McDowell. This Roval has not been kind to McDowell. In his 5 starts here, right? He's got 5 total starts. His average finishing position is 21st, all in that 34 car, all basically just not doing well. Started 18th in 2018, finished 18th. 2019, he started 22nd, finished 12th. 31st, 32nd in 2020. 19th place start, 16th place finish. 11th place start, hopeful, fantastic. Let's get inside the top 10. Michael McDowell, nope, finishes 27th in last year's race. Again, I understand that he won in Indy. I get it. And I know that he finished 7th in Sonoma. I know he finished 7th in Chicago. You can read me all of these stats if you want. However, he did finish 36th at Watkins Glen. He had electrical issues. But Rod, you say he started in 3rd. I get that. I understand. I'm 100% in your favor. I think everywhere else on a road course, Michael McDowell is a fantastic play for a 6th place or better finish. I know. You know, you say he finished 6th at Watkins Glen last year, 8th at Indy, 8th at Road America. Rod, he finished 3rd in Sonoma last season. I know, but his average finish position of 21st at the Roval. This track in particular bites him, and I don't know what it is about it, but it definitely bites him. And for him to have a top 6 finish when we're making cases for so many other guys to have top 10 finishes, I mean, he could have a top 10. That's fine. But it's definitely not going to be inside of the top 6. So I think Michael McDowell is going to finish worse than 6.5. So lower than 6.5 for Michael McDowell.
Yeah. Also a guy that I'm not really on this weekend is Michael McDowell. I know some people are. I want nothing to do with it. 6.5. You're saying he's got to get you a top 6 to be higher than this. I don't like it. So I agree with going lower. I think this is a good call, and one I was going to take if he didn't beat me to the document.
It's tough. I know a lot of people are going to be on him. I know there's a lot of folks out there that just want them some Michael McDowell.
And I get it, right? I know he had that one race where he looked really good, and at Watkins Glen he looked good too, other than the 2 pit mistakes and stuff. But oh man, 6.5 for Michael McDowell, like that is such a short number. Yeah, definitely give me the lower than. I agree with you on that.
All right. Well, we've been telling you all along about Underdog Fantasy. This whole episode's dedicated to Underdog Fantasy. So you too can get in on the action and play alongside your favorite football team, or as we've definitely been laying out for you, drive along with your favorite driver all season long. Plus, Underdog has just introduced Scorchers. Go 5 for 5 and pick them Scorchers. They're going to give you a spicy 100 times payout. You turn $5 into $500 really quick. And for a limited time, Underdog is extending the first deposit bonus again up to $500. Not $100, $500. That's such a fantastic deal. Again, if you haven't deposited yet, now is the time to do it. And be generous with yourself. Give yourself that gift of doubling up for up to $500. $100,000 Sundays continues on Underdog Fantasy. 10 lucky players are going to wake up with $10,000 each. Going to give you some more Underdog Fantasy picks after this. So watch along, make your picks, drive along too. Maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with that promo code SGPN, Underdog's going to double your first deposit up to $500. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. It's spicy. It's scorchy. It's everything you want it to be, Cody. So where are we going next?
Yeah, that's, man, just the scorching thing. It's awesome. I know Cam Kerr from the Golf Gambling Podcast, he hit like 90 times his money a couple weeks ago on NFL games. Like, oh man, Underdog is so much freaking fun. I wanted to give honorable mention to Christopher Buescher for a better than 10th place finish. I wanted to kind of go with somebody else here that we haven't talked about this week, because sometimes I feel like with the betting and then the DFS and then we get to the Underdog, it's like, talk about the same guys. But Buescher, again, Rod, 9 races in a row on road courses, 11th or better. That means 8 of the last 9 times he's been better than 10th. So, yes, please give me Chris Buescher. But I'm going with my guy, Ty Gibbs here. He's also at 10. Going to take the better than as well. I know that AJ Allmendinger has just absolutely dominated this track in Xfinity, but Gibbs was the next best guy last year in the Xfinity Series race here. Led 24 laps throughout the day there. Ended up finishing second to him. Gibbs' very first Xfinity Series start was the Daytona Road Course. Rod, I think he was 75-1, and I had a ticket on him for that race. Oh, it was beautiful. Very first career start, cashed a huge ticket. That's why I'm such a big fan, I think, because he cashed me a huge ticket right out of the gate. His first race, I was like, I'd read a lot about him. I'd seen a bunch of stuff. I was like, this kid's pretty good at road courses. Let's, and then he just killed everyone. And he's been super good at road courses. Every time he races in the Xfinity Series, it's like, look how good he is. It's continued to get better in the Cup Series. Last year, the results were kind of so-so. He did finish 22nd in this race. Again, he was very new into filling in. It was still Kurt Busch's ride. We didn't know if Kurt was coming back, all that stuff. He settled in this season, and he's had a good season. So why does he only have 4 road course starts? What race did he miss? Oh, that's because Chicago's not under because it doesn't count because it's not a road course. Okay, sorry. Anyways, that's my bad. Coda opened up the season, 9th place finish for Mr. Gibbs. Sonoma, he was 18th. That's a decent solid run there. And then Indy, he finished in 12th place as well. So right outside of that top 10. Go to Watkins Glen. Nice, solid 5th place finish from Gibbs there. Just continues to improve. All 4 races this season, 18th or better. It's not that far outside of the top 10. 3 of them have been 12th or better. Obviously, 2 of them were inside the top 10. I think it's another week. Gibbs can get himself a nice, solid finish. We know he's got a good, solid car with the Gibbs cars. And Toyota, the road course program has been so much better than it was last season, of course. So love Ty Gibbs this weekend. I was looking when I was making bets this week for the betting episode. Gibbs was the guy that I looked at, minus 175 to finish in the top 10. So the books know that he's going to be a candidate for the top 10. I think that's why you take the better than 10th place for Ty Gibbs this weekend.
Yeah, and really, again, this is one of those situations where we can see, I think, a good things from folks that aren't worried about the playoffs, aren't worried about trying to figure it out, right? I mean, there's going to be a few drivers that benefit from that. Ty Gibbs has sort of been one of those guys all season long, quietly, and then not so quietly too. Yeah,
absolutely. And you give him good, solid track position, he's going to be a tough guy to pass. He's not going to be one of these guys that can just pick off easily because he's going to hold his ground and he's going to have a good, solid run. So love this number for Ty Gibbs. So give me the better than 10.
All right. Looks like I'm taking another lower than. I didn't wake up to choose violence this morning, but I think I'm going to. But this is another one where I know that you're going to want to be tempted to take the higher than in this situation, and that's William Byron, right? His is set at 5.5 as far as his finishing position is. And I mean, William Byron already locked into the next round. So they don't even have to do anything. Like they could literally just go out and put together a ho-hum race. They can points race if they want to try to carry more points into the next round, which is probably what they may end up doing, which means staying out during these stage cautions to collect the points and then go away, or they could not. But really, my argument is based more on the fact that performance-wise, this is something that I don't think is going to happen anyways, even if he wasn't points racing. I know he won Watkins Glen. I get it. I know that's where he ended up making himself not have to worry about this race in particular, right? So he won at Watkins Glen. But before that, another hybrid road course / oval, and the Indy road course, right? 14th place he finished there. Sonoma, straight up road course, 14th place finish. He did finish 5th at Coda. That's fine. But on this track in particular, as far as where his finishing positions have been, he finished 16th last season, 11th the season before that, 2 6th place finishes in that case. He's not finished inside the top 5 once on this track, despite leading in every race but 2, right? He's led in 3 races of his 5. He started on the pole even in 2019. Like, again, something that you would think that he would finish inside of the top 5, but something about this Roval in particular, not necessarily that good. But also, William Byron on road courses altogether since 2020, right? 3 races, 11th place finish average. Okay. So you look back at what he did last season, 16th at the Roval, 22nd at Watkins Glen, 31st at the Indy Road Course, 16th at Road America, 9th at Sonoma. Listen, you have to go. In fact, there's nowhere you can go. You have to go all the way back to nowhere for a top 5 finish outside of this season's Coda and Watkins Glen. He hasn't finished inside of the top 5 at a road course at all since this season is the first time he's done that. Not necessarily a great road course racer. Nothing to worry about, yes. But again, there's nothing to worry about. So where he runs is kind of irrelevant at this point. So I don't think William Byron will have a top 5 finish. There's a lot more people that need that finish that are going to go for that finish than William Byron this week.
Yeah, he's a tough read on road courses because, like you said, it's not had a top 5 prior to the season. Then he's got 2 really solid runs. So it's like, but it's only been 2. It's been, and then this is going to be a different situation where we didn't have stage breaks and things were run out more. And we know he's got the fastest fucking picker in the world. Like, they get him out with track position always. And while that could help him here, less so than when it's these long green runs and things are getting spread out and whatnot. So I do like fading him. Another guy that I'm just not on this weekend, and he's one of the favorites. Like, he's with Elliott and Larson all the way at the top of the board, and I know he's won a bunch of races, and I know he's looked good, and he's already locked in the next round, but I just can't talk myself into it. And like you said, there's going to be people Hail Marys, and this could get taking the under finishes or the lower finishes for a lot of these guys. I mean, I tweeted out that Xfinity lineup after yesterday's DFS show, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for there is just chaos, right? It was all lowers because these races could get crazy. And so taking some of these guys on lowers, like he could just be an innocent victim of utter chaos from these guys that are, I've got to win. I've got to get these points right now. And he's wrong place, wrong time. And so I think that could be a strategy. And I might play a lineup or two where it is all just lower thans because you got to factor in that chaos factor. So I do like going under on Byron here as well.
I would almost Danny Hamlin myself out of this one, just pull myself out of the madness and sort of
pull out of the back and let them all fade away in front of you.
A top 15 finish for me. Okay.
Hey, that means said to treat it like a super speedway. Maybe he does. Well, and like Danny said this week, $350,000 for these cars. So they're out there driving Lambos.
And you don't want to wreck these things. No way. So, all right, get out your pen and paper. It is time to go over our Underdog Fantasy Picks for this weekend for this Roval race. Cody started you out with Chase Elliott to have a better finishing position than 5.5. I told you that AJ Allmendinger would finish higher than 7.5. Cody Zeeb told you that Martin Truex Jr. would be worse than 8th place in this race. I said Michael McDowell would finish lower than 6.5. We gave an honorable mention, did Cody, to Chris Buescher as better than 10th place, and then gave you Ty Gibbs as better than 10th as well. I said that William Byron would finish lower than 5.5 on the Roval. Cody, I love these underdog episodes. I want to keep doing them. Maybe we should pack 6 episodes into a week, huh?
I got to talk to my wife about that, but we could probably make it work.
Just kidding.
I'm more scared of her than the bosses. The bosses let us do it. I know.
All we got to do is shoot the bosses and hey, listen, we're doing this one again. Okay.
Yeah, sure. It's cool. They like it. It's good.
I know my ultimate boss too may not enjoy the.
Yeah, it's those other bosses that's but
hey, listen.
She likes the money, so it's good.
And the money you make from the underdog.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have doubling. I get paid to do the episode, and I get paid for the underdog. So there you go. See,
can't argue with that at all. All right. Well, Cody, as we wrap things up for the week, let's just send everybody off to enjoy a wonderful Roval weekend. By now, you'll probably be prepping for the Xfinity race, if not already watched, depending on when you're doing this. But let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Yep. Follow me on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my work over there. Tweeted out full Xfinity underdog picks yesterday. So make sure, again, you're following over there. Share that from the NASCAR Gambling Podcast as well at NASCAR Gambling. So make sure you're following that. And let's go cash some underdog lineups this week. Let's go cash some bets. Let's go hit some DFS lineups. Let's go make some money.
If you guys aren't following it all week long, I don't know what you're doing, but that's all right. Thank you for doing it anyways. Follow me on X at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's in between media. Make sure you check out the back road. Seth and Elliot holding it down this week. And, of course, my episode of For Fast Money on For Frequency's Sake. You can find that on my X feed as well, or just subscribe to the channel, and they'll continue to pop up for you without me telling you. So, all right, everyone, we'll see you on Monday for the recap show. Hopefully we'll recap a lot of green tickets and a lot of good racing. Until then, let's go racing and let it ride.